Hello and welcome to my new Blender tutorial. Today I want to show you how to make this curtain animation. It's pretty basic and I want to make this beginner friendly. I don't want to waste your time, so let's get right started. First, as a general hint, always do, if you are a total beginner, do not do anything else than the tutor says, and do not add anything else, and do it always as exactly as the same as he does, because first of all, order matters and every little step matters, because else the result might be different. Just an example. If the tutor says first move it to the side, then rotate it, you get this result. But if he does this in edit mode, so edit, move this to the side, then rotate it, it's different. Why? Because if I rotate it now, you see now the pivot point, the point where the object is rotating around, is still at 0, 0, 0. If you do the same in object mode, GYR, the pivot point is still at the object. So it's totally different if you scale or rotate something in object or in edit mode. The same is true for order. So if you, example given, have here, let's say a toes, and let's say we add here a class modifier. Of course it would just fall down, but now we give here some hooks to it. So I assign a vertex group here, assign, and to the class modifier I say here shape group, and if you press play now, you see these two are pinned. What you can do now is you can press Ctrl H, hook to new object, and now you can animate this hook. But example given, I location, and now I say GYI location. And if I now run this, you will see it's very strange result. That's not what we want. And why is that? Because I first added the cloth modifier and then I added the hook. And if you now look at the toes, you will see, because I added first the cloth modifier is before the hook. If you want the cloth that it takes the hook in consideration, the hook must be before the class modifier. So if I play the animation now, you will see, now this is what I wanted. So that's what I said. It's always important if you do or try to follow a tutorial. If you don't know what you're doing and you are not a pro, do exactly the same as the tutorial says. Then you will have success, else you will fail more and more. Why do I say this? Because I made this mistake a lot and I failed at a lot of tutorials. Okay, now let's get right started. So first, Shift A, add plane. This is our class, and so we rename this to class. Now we press Tab to edit mode, right mouse click on it, and we say subdivide. We open this little window here and we enter 100. Then we rotate Y 90 and then S 10. So we scale this up 10 times. This is very important because scaling in cloth means it will look better. What I do now, I press 3 for front view and I select only the upper vertex, go here to select, and then I say checker deselect, so I have only selected every second vertex here, as you can see. Now I go here to object data properties, press plus, and now I have a vertex group and I want to assign, so I press assign these vertices to my vertex group, and I call this group pin by double clicking and then entering pin. And now I press Ctrl H while these vertices are still selected. I press Ctrl H, hook to new object. Now I got this new empty here. Tap to edit mode, and I can animate this. First of all, I want to add here now the class modifier. So I go to modifier, and as you can see, I already have the hook modifier here. And I say add class, and then now I go to the class properties, and I want to change two things here, or three. First of all, I choose the pin group pin here, and in collision I select self collision. Now I want to animate these controller here, so I go again in front view and I say I location scale, and then I go to frame 100. GY, I move this to the side here, and then I press S to scale a little bit down, and I say I location and scale again. And now I go to frame 1 again and I say play. And sometimes it's really weird, so I go back to frame 1 again, press shade auto smooth, play again, and then it calculates again the class simulation, and as you can see, this is already looking pretty nice. This can happen here, sometimes the class cache isn't gone, so you go to cloth again, and then you just say open the cache and say delete all breaks, go back to frame 0 and play this again. To have a little nicer color, you can choose here mudcap, and then you choose here these really nice wet, and then it looks really nice. And you see, now we have already a pretty nice simulation. What we need now is we want to put the lower part a little bit to the right. Therefore, we add mesh torus. We scale this torus a little bit up, press Ctrl A, apply scale, and then we say I for location and scale, and then we move a little bit forward, maybe until here. We give this torus a collision modifier so that it collides with the class. We play again the simulation to see how it looks now, and then we can, if the curtain is at the right side, we can then make the torus smaller so that the animation looks good. So I think here we can already make it smaller. So I say S and make it small, and of course move it also to the side. GY S GY S, and then I say I location and scale, and I play the simulation again, and as you can see, the class is reacting to the torus and the curtain moves to the side. Of course, you can always change your animation if you make this a little bit bigger here. If you don't like it is now, you can make the torus animation later. This is very easy because you have selected the torus here. Here is the animation, so you can just take both of the keyframes and then press GX, and we move the animation a little bit to the right, and now it will scale later. And of course you can hide the torus so that the animation can be seen better. And as you can see, the curtain moves pretty nice, and now the torus comes in, as you know, and pushes this even further for the downside. I think that looks pretty nice. I hope you learned something. Have fun. Bye.